Aha. Okay. Hopefully that is working now. Let's see. Yeah, God. All right. This is on my nerves, y'all. I can't figure this shit out. Lord. I don't know, Matthew, can you hear me? If you can, would you, I don't know, put in a thumbs up or something? I don't even know if this is working. Let's see. I don't know how to make it. Darn it. I'm trying to rotate this. I don't guess it allows me to do that, maybe? Oh, it's live in this format? I think I'm going to hang up and try this again. Hi, very happy Mondays. Okay, maybe I can, if I turn it this way, y'all, you know what? My whole life, I swear, is an experiment. And obviously, I've never done this before. So, does that work? Well, at least you could see it this way. Okay. Hello, very happy Mondays. Thank you guys for joining. I apologize for how this looks. So, I'm Kim. Welcome to my channel, The Way of the Witch. I thought I'd make this live video. So if you'd like to join me, grab some art supplies. Here's what I have to work with. Of course, I have my book. And of course, you could use anything, whatever you use to create a book of shadows or a grimoire. I have a bigger one of this type of book. It's just bigger, but I loved it so much. I love the paper. It does come with a thing to bind it. So, I also have some gouache. This is just, you know, gouache is essentially opaque watercolors. I like painting with gouache. I have some water. I have a paint palette, scissors. I have a little bit of washi tape I'm probably not going to use. I definitely have some graphite paper. An assortment of art supplies. I have a beautiful set of watercolors in here. Those are gorgeous, but I'm probably not going to use them. I think that the gouache works better on this paper, but that's what I've got there. Also have another little pouch of pencils and pens if I need them. I am taking inspiration mainly from these two books by O.B. Kaufman. I love these. The forests of California, the coasts of California. I live in California, so that's why I'm referencing those as really how I want to set up this book. I mean, I love how he's got writing and then he's got little illustrations, watercolor illustrations. So that's what I'm sort of taking my inspiration from. Now, I also have this book called Inking Florals. I painted a poppy. The California poppy is one of my favorite flowers, and I actually recreated this a couple years ago. So I just have this as, again, a reference. And then I have a couple of maps of the area, and I'll show you what I'm going to do today. So this book is, thank you, Matthew. I'm so glad that this is going to work. Maybe next time I can get it to work in landscape mode. So funny, you remember that video? So that I think I did on my Finding My Muse channel, which I have since pretty much abandoned. I worked on that channel for over a year, and I wasn't getting any movement. It's not that I do this stuff to become a YouTube star or whatever, but you do want some, I want to see the channel grow, right? And this channel, this Way of the Witch channel, has grown a lot more. Plus, I feel like I can show things that I'm more interested in on this channel. By the way, you guys, apologies for my nails. I need to redo these. I'm actually going on a business trip tomorrow, and I need to get some stuff done with that. I started this book about a month ago, and I haven't made much progress, mainly because I've been working so much. My job takes a lot of time and it's pretty stressful. So by the end of the day, I really don't want to do a lot except decompress, though creativity is a way for me to decompress, and I do try to do something creative every day. At any rate, I want to get started on this. I decided I wanted a little book of the place of spirit, like the genus loci, right? Because I love California so much. I moved here just before COVID, and I had been visiting since I was a kid, okay? I've been coming to San Francisco since I was just a wee tot. And I love it so much. And since I've moved here, I just really feel bonded, like I've never been to a place, even where I grew up, was born and raised. So this book I'm going to dedicate to the genus loci. I wonder if I should... Oh, Matt, yes, I am going to try to sneak in a little art, right? So I made this page. I've started out. This is the progress I've made so far. This paper is fantastic. It's very thick. So the Book of Genus Loci, and for me, the area I live in, I wanted to have that first page reference that, so California. And then I also want to appreciate the native lands here that I live on. And you can, if you're curious about the native lands, there's a native lands app. You could probably just Google native lands and it would pop up, and you can put in your address and it'll tell you who this land belonged to before we ever set foot here. We meaning, white American, Caucasians from England when we came over, right? So we are on the land here of the Miwok, the Patwin, and the Wapo. And then I just did a few illustrations of things that were important to those tribes. All of them were really good basket weavers. This is kind of reminiscent of a shelter that they used. Yes, very happy Mondays. California is special. I just absolutely love it. So this is as far as I've gotten on this, right? So my next page, I really wanted to do something with a map. So I found this. I was in downtown Napa. I was at a bookstore and they had these sitting there for free. So we have Napa, Calistoga, St. Helena, Yountville, also Rutherford and Oakville, and American Canyon. So this is essentially Napa County. It was hard to find a map of American Canyon. That's what I wanted to use. And when I saw this at the bookstore, I was like, oh my God. So I got it. Also, there's this, I think I just hit the camera. Sorry about that. There's also this big map that shows you exactly what's going on, and it just goes right up 29. So you start at American Canyon, go through Napa, Yountville, Oakville, Rutherford, St. Helena, and Calistoga. Have you ever been to Napa? It is beautiful. There's so many wild places. I love to go hiking, go for long walks. So what I'm going to do is cut this out, I think, because I want this American Canyon one. And I think it's in a good, okay, just to make it more manageable. By the way, I also had picked this up at the River Bay Trail, the Wetlands Edge. This is a beautiful trail. There's lots of walking through here. Lovely wildlife, plants, trees, wildflowers in their habitat. And this is actually a reclaimed area that California reclaimed. It used to be a dump and they made it beautiful. So I go down there to walk quite a bit. So what I'm going to do, let's get to creating. I'm sure you don't want to be here all day long. So I'm going to, I think I'm going to do a spread this way. And ideally, I think I want to go something like that. I'm just going to, got a little ruler here. So, you know, if you're creating, if you wanted to create a BOS and say something about the land that you live on, or start to try to get in touch with the spirits of the land, the genus loci, then, you know, you can do a little research. But also if you go walking, go sit in a park, go sit outside, if it's in your backyard, and just listen. Often you can just meditate or just sit there and be quiet and let the land speak to you. You know, what sounds do you hear? What do you smell? What do you see? What does the plant life look like? And of course, most of this changes season to season. Observation can make a huge difference. You know, just looking every day can put you more and more in touch with the land and its cycles. Okay, I have that cut fairly well. I'm trying to decide because, you know, I like to use these fonts, and I don't know if I need to label this page or have any writing on it. If I did, I'd probably want to maybe pull this down a little bit. I think I do. I also want to, since I'm going to be tracing on this, see how this goes. I want to put something, I think this book is going to be too big. Yeah, it's kind of thick. Oops. Let me see. Oh, very happy Mondays. Yes, thank you for watching. And, you know, I know this is kind of a long, rambly video. So if you can't make it all the way, that's perfectly fine. I'm just happy you stopped by and said hello. Okay. Yeah, I'm reading this. This is actually really good. I am part of that Barbie craze. I'm just going to use it as a... Okay. So then I'm going to take my graphite paper, and you know, I love this stuff, guys. The thing about this paper, if you erase on it, it kind of pulls up. It's real fibrous, and it's some kind of stained paper. So if you erase on it, it ends up being white, and I don't know, kind of like the fabric kind of gets roughed up. So I like to use this graphite paper because I don't have to sit here and sketch and erase and sketch and erase to get something right. I can just copy, you know, trace it and then paint it out. Now, this paper does tend to leave a lot of residue. So when you're trying to, do I want to put this in the middle? Yeah, I do. I'm going to just fold it. I'm probably going to get graphite all over my fingers, right? And then I think I'm going to set it in here like that. And I'm going to use some tape, washi tape, to kind of fix it in place. Hi, Shrimpy for Life. Thank you for joining us. I'm just going to put a little bit of tape on here to hold it in place while we trace. Ideally, I'm going to do this whole page spread. Not that it's that big. It's one thing I like about these little books. They're not that big. Okay. So then what I do is I just simply trace the elements or that I want to, and it doesn't have to be perfect. But I do like to have this as a guide. I just thought it would be cool to have kind of a map of one. Actually, I'm going to do all of them. I'm going to do Napa, definitely St. Helena, because I go there a lot. And in between St. Helena and Calistoga, there's a state park there called Bothay State Park that I absolutely love. It's beautiful. So many redwoods. So it's just gorgeous. In fact, it is recovering from the fires that happened a couple of years ago. Devastating fires. Oh, and speaking of, you know, prayers and, God, I hate that phrase, thoughts and prayers. Sending all the good healing woo to Maui. It's devastating. I absolutely love Maui. I've been there a few times. I've been to Lahaina. I've stood right in front of that amazing, I think it was a 150-year-old tree, because I love trees. And I'm heartbroken for the residents there. You know, it's just terrible. Okay, I just want to show these little areas. Okay, I think I have most of it. I love this, and I'm just putting in a few. These are railroad tracks, and I'm just putting in a few dashes. I'll fill that in because I will use this as a reference. Okay, there's a community park here. There's a little park here, another park here, another park here, and there is a park there. All right. Now pull that off. Ah, did you see what I just did? Look at that. Damn it. If your hand colorful, did you even have fun? What are you saying? Very happy Mondays. The images are absolutely heart-wrenching and terrible. Yes, it is. It's just awful. And we send all the love and support to Maui. I'm sure they're taking donations, and maybe I can find some links or something like that and put them in the description box for the replay of this video. I don't know if you can see, but see how that graphite paper kind of left, not residue, but you know, it's just very sensitive. I'm looking for a gum eraser because I thought I might try to get some of that up. I've got this, but this kind of eraser, I don't know. Sometimes it can be too much. The gum eraser typically works better on this paper. It's fine. Okay, so I think for this one, you know, some of the spaces did not get filled in. I'm just trying to decide what colors I want to do. I think I'm going to do it like this. If I paint it all blue, I'm going to cover up these lines. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I'll put the black lines in it first, and then I'll add some blue. And I'm just looking through these paints. Let's see. This is phthalo blue. This is a sky blue. It's not as light as you would think it would be. Ultramarine deep, probably not. It's white. Okay. That turquoise blue is nice. Okay, leave that out. I think I'll leave out that. Okay. I've got a couple. I've got this permanent white. I think I'm going to use this turquoise blue. I'm going to leave out the greens. Here's a black. That's a big white. Another big white. I will try that sky blue. Okay. Let me see. If your hands aren't I agree. If your hands don't get paint all over them, you probably aren't having fun. What else? Images of Maui. My art teacher always made us walk on our paper before sketching. Oh, I love that. Happy Mondays. Yeah, you know, I love just trying to do different things with my art. Okay, let's see. Let's put out, here, scooch over, a little blue. This is the sky blue. This is the turquoise blue, which probably looks very similar. I'm tempted to get a little closer for you. Okay. Let's add some white. Ooh, I added a lot. Let's add some white there too. And I'll put a little black here. Yeah, I don't mind if I get paint all over my hands. Like I said, I'm going to redo my manicure. I say manicure like it's fancy. Seriously, I don't do a whole lot. And I'm not going anywhere to do it. I started using this nail polish from a company called Dazzle Dry. And I really like it because it dries really fast. So I think I'm going to do a really light wash of this gouache. You know, I mean, there's something to be said for doing this with any type of media, even pastels or crayons, wax crayons, ink. You could do, I hope this isn't too watery. You could do pen and ink. You could do acrylic. Look at that turquoise. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, I think I'm going to like having two different blues in this. Okay. Let's get painting. I am just going to see how this goes. I'm tempted to throw a piece of paper under this, but I think I just want to go ahead and get a layer down. I could keep this fairly light. I just dipped my brush into the water, and I could then still see the lines I drew through the graphite paper. Ooh, that's nice. That's going to dry Nice. I don't mind if it gets on the next page on the edge, but maybe I could take care. Yeah, so I am going to LA. There's a show there that we are taking part in. And I'm not going to be able to do any art. I used to take stuff on the road with me when I traveled, art kits and stuff like that. I don't have a lot of time this time, and honestly, I don't know if you guys know, but I have a doll channel. Yeah, I know, it sounds weird. If you are interested, you could go check it out if you'd like, but you know, it's not everybody's cup of tea, so whatever. It's called, though, if you are interested, The Dolls, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And since I am going to be in LA, I thought I would probably shoot some video for that channel. Considering, I think that's going through. I hope not too much. That's pretty good. Hey, I like that. I'm gonna let that dry just a little bit. You know, I've got this where, I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of pooling in that crack, which is probably why I wanted to be a little careful. I wonder where it's going. Trying to find it. I think it's okay. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of turquoise. I want to add turquoise to the water side, which is over here. Ooh! So just a little. Just make that a little bit bluer. That's not all water there, you know, on this map. In fact, that's a road. So the water would be like over here. I'm just evoking, okay? I'm just evoking. Although this little line is blue. In fact, I think I have a Prussian blue in here that would be really fun to use maybe for the lines of to indicate the roads. I was thinking I'd use this green. This is an emerald green for the little gardens that were indicated. Goodness. The thing, I love these little tubes because they're not very expensive, but they dry out faster, right? So that's, if you're not painting all the time, you know, of course you're going to use them up if you paint more often, but they're also not going to dry out. I'm going to just get a little bit of this green, maybe make it a little bit deeper. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to go to LA and I'm just going to take a few things to shoot some video there for my other channel. This is not quite dry. The thing about gouache and watercolor is And you can see it's doing it right now. Do you see what's happening? Because I'm just impatient. It'll start to bleed out. So let me stop that. Let's get that. I could grab my hair dryer and dry this, and maybe I should, so we all aren't sitting here watching paint dry, right? Would that be a terrible thing if I jumped up and did the hair dryer real quick? Oops. Hang on. Give me just a second. Let me see if I can do the hair dryer. In fact, let me take off this mic so I don't blow you out. 1 second. I'll be right back. If somebody shows up and says, "What's going on?" Tell them I'm drying. Back, and I got some fresh water. Okay, let me just put this mic on. See if I can put this on right. Okay, thank you. So I think it's fairly dry. It was just a quick, not use a hair dryer. Yeah, I know, right? I used to not use one a lot. I would just like wash my hair and let it dry, but I typically work East Coast hours. So when I get up in the morning and I get ready for work, it's just super early in the morning and I need to go ahead and look professional because it seems like most of my day is spent on video calls. I work from home, so that's nice. God, I almost want my glasses for this bit. Okay, let's see. I just want to paint in these lines. And again, they don't have to be perfect. Because, you know, you can get into this trap, I think, or I have before, of thinking that these little drawings or paintings in your book have to be perfect. But when you see it all together, you know, as one book that you are flipping through, you're not going to notice the imperfections, or in fact, the imperfections may add to your enjoyment of it. You know, some people just get all bent out of shape over, you know, how we do things, right? I mean, I've had so many times when, you know, people can be like, "Oh, that's cheating, using graphite paper," or, you know, cheating. I don't know what that means. when it comes to art. Cheating? Okay, I guess, whatever. I'm not, I'm just trying to make something that's pleasing to me. It's not as if I'm selling these things. These are very personal books, and it's just a way for me. Do you see how it's bleeding a little bit? That's fine. It's just a way for me to connect with the spirit and the land around me for this particular book. And I want to represent things that I love that speak to me. So I'm not too concerned about, using graphite paper to make it look pleasing to me. I'm happy to take any ideas that I can, any hacks or whatever. Let's see. I'm trying to match this up because, oh, I see. Okay. Just okay. Do I have most everything? I'm just gonna pull this line on out, pull this line on out. I'm gonna pull that one up, up. This one, I don't even, so it goes, I think like that. Look, I'm getting gouache on me, which is fine. Okay. I might have to let this dry. And maybe I'll go on to doing poppies. I can do American Canyon just to plan this out a little bit. This book, by the way, has 2, 3, 4, 5 signatures. I had thought about doing it with each signature devoted to one element. But then I thought that's just gonna, I don't know, maybe I should have. I haven't, so yeah, I decided to do it this way. So it is what it is, right? Ooh, here's that Prussian blue. I want to use that. The thing I like about Prussian blue is it's so dark, but there's such a beautiful, I don't know, can you see this? Look at that. It's one of my favorite colors. So I'm going to use it here. And maybe I'll add a little more water so it does kind of fade out. And, oop. Maybe I didn't think this out. I was thinking I'd do a live. I thought, oh, this will be something fun to do. I don't have to edit. I can just get this done, put a video out that maybe people would enjoy and could follow along on, and did not consider that we probably don't, we need to have time for the paint to dry, and I did not do that. let's see. Looks like there is a little park here. Actually, I could have made that darker. I think I will. There is a, ooh, see, here's a line I missed. I'm gonna have to pull that down. A line, it's a road. Okay. I did here as well. So that goes all the way across. You know what I really wanted to do was find one of, have you ever seen maps that artists have created? They're very whimsical and they show like everything that's super fun and cool in the city. I really wanted to find something like that of Napa. Could not find it. Could not find it. Just gonna pull this down. Gonna mess that up. It's fine. And then I'll have a little orange here. Did I say orange? Green here. I have lost my mind, y'all. Ooh, here's another line I missed. Road. I guess you learn, right? Doop. And there. Okay. Let it dry a sec. I wonder if I can do something a little bit. Ooh, I bet if I added a little bit of that to this, that would make it darker, right? Yes, it does. Let's add more. Okay. This is a teeny tiny brush. I actually use this brush to do the lettering usually. But I just grabbed it. You know, and I could add drawings in here, things that we see along the way. Oh, I was going to do that railroad track, right? Let's do that. I guess, you know, if you're making a book of shadows or creating some book of shadows pages or grimoire pages, I mean, the way I feel about it, about witchcraft, I've been practicing, God, since my early 20s. I mean, and I had roots earlier in my teens when, like, my auntie taught me about tarot, that kind of thing. So I've been down a lot of paths. I've been in a few covens, but for the past, I would say, easily 10 years, probably 15 years, I've been more solitary. I was in a women's group years and years ago, and I won't say the name of them, but it was a cluster. I mean, it was so full of ego and clique and, you know, I don't know. I just didn't feel it. In the end, it did not work for me. And I got out of it. And at the time, I was devastated. I mean, it wasn't a cult. I mean, it wasn't a cult. I wasn't, you know, beholding to anyone or anything, but It was devastating because I thought, I had been with that group for, I don't know, 6, 7 years, and it was my spiritual home, and when there ended up being kind of a falling out with me and other members of the group, and I just thought, I'm done, and it hurt. But you know what I did after that? I joined OBOD, and they had an online course or courses. OBOD is Ovates. What is it? OBOD. Ovates, Bards, and Druids. I don't remember how it goes, but they had a really lovely online course that I took. I think I went through Ovate and Bard levels. I absolutely loved it. And then I quit that and just started doing my own thing. I'm not one to say, oh, you've got to wear robes, witchy robes when you do ritual, or you have to get into all the sort of trappings of being a witch, or that witch aesthetic. And yeah, very happy Mondays. That's interesting. Thunderstruck. Yeah, it was it was less than desirable. But I've learned so much over the years. My whole point of this ramble is I've learned so much over the years just practicing on my own. Now, I will say that I have been working with a woman. Her name is Danielle Dulski. I've mentioned her here before. She's got a few books out that I think are really good. I know that there are other witchy channels that have reviewed her books that have not enjoyed them, didn't get them. And that's fine. Whatever. I don't feel like the criticism that was made about them is, it's very subjective, right? So, yeah, I really enjoy her, and I still work with her, and, recommend. It's all online, although there are a few sort of in-person events that, happen a couple times a year, once or twice a year. And sometimes I do it and sometimes I don't. I just saw there is a line. Do you see this? I didn't trace that. I'm going to go ahead and add that. And I think it actually hooks up here. There we go. And there was another one right there. Yeah. Okay. Those are the railroad tracks. I think as this dries, I'm going to add things that I see, in these areas. Things that I see. There is, on one of my walks, not on this map, but on one of my walks, there is a huge, absolutely huge, bigger than a van. It's a blackberry bush. And every time I go by there, especially now, during, summer, in the summer, late summer, I stand there and eat a couple of handfuls of blackberries because they're so good. And I know where it is. I know it's not doesn't have pesticides on it. It's not in a place where like animals could go and say pee on it. You know, if you're doing like wild foraging, this is actually a really great location. So what I'm thinking is, remember how I was saying I'd love to make this more of like a whimsical kind of map. Maybe what I can do is add, like knowing where these places are, some sort of image of what might be there. Like over here, there's lots of birds in this Napa River wetlands. So maybe what I'll do is do a little drawing of a swan and, you know, or a couple of swans. I know over in this area there are some century cacti. So I could perhaps do some little images like that, you know, same, you know, over in these areas. So that, again, is getting you further into that spirit of the land. Let's see. It feels pretty dry. I'll probably use a pen or something on here. I don't know though. I've been on for almost an hour and I'm wondering if we're getting bored with this. Should I finish this maybe and then do a short of the page when it's done and post it? Maybe that would be helpful. I know that my boyfriend is pinging me, asking me if I want to go to lunch, and I probably do. Although I have so much to do to get ready for that business trip tomorrow. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to pause here. I'm sorry that this was such a chaotic live. I think it is going to be easy for me to finish this later tonight. And like I said, what I might do is just, you know, do a little video that's a short and post it so that you can see the final. But I would like to do more of these lives where we just create this book page by page, or if you're painting along too. It's kind of like a Stitch and Bitch, only it's a paint along. Although you're probably not painting the same things because you're probably in a different location. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. It's great chatting with you, Matthew, and very happy Mondays. I so appreciate you. Thank you so, so much for being here. I will see you next time. Bye. See you later.